It's really, isn't it?
I'd reached the age of 14 and I hadn't started talking. And my mum, she was getting worried about me. She said, Dad, it's time you told him all about the birds and bees. And he said, birds and bees? And he sat me on his knee. He said, you remember Uncle Joe and that picnic a while ago? And how I went into the woods with Auntie Pat? And how I chased old Riley's daughter and what happened when I caught her? I said, yeah. He said, well, birds and bees does that. Dad works very hard indeed. But he got 10 mouths to feed. Well, 10 and 7 nights to be precise. Oh, yeah. Then we all wears hand-me-downs, and as all the rest of the girls and I'm the youngest, well, it ain't very nice. Dad said it's time that I got wed. I said I'd sooner drop down dead. He said, well, what about old Maud from Ikeley down? I said, Maud, not blooming likely. She'd been out with everyone in Ikeley. He said, well, Ikeley's really quite a little town. He said, you've got to find a wife. You can't go on enjoying life. Folks that think you're strange and start a friend. I said, now look, why should I buy a book when they got a private lending library in the town? One day I found a friend. 'Twas up my badger's head. A little pigeon fell down at my feet. I cupped him in my hands and he looked like to me he was dead. And then when I get my words right, I know what I'm talking about. I cupped him in my hands and I ran up to my aunt and she said, son, I'm as proud as you as I could be. You're thoughtful and you're kind and you've got a gentle mind. And that'd do a treat for your dad's tea. I said, you shall not touch my bird. Without another word, I took him to my room and shut the door. Where I nursed him and I bathed him and I brought him back to health. Because you see, I'd never really had a friend before. I taught him little tricks like playing dead and picking up sticks. And the village girls, they brought me birdseed every day. Dad, you can't come in like shout or my birdie will fly out. Of course, I let all the village girls stay. There was Mary from the dairy and Mabel from the stable, and we had a visit from our beauty queen. And that great big Betty Maybury, well, she got her own aviary. Well, she got the biggest parakeets I've ever seen. Dad said I ought to let him go, but Mum, she said, oh no, you just want to get some shooting practice in. But the vicar said, my son, it really isn't done. For to lock up a wild animal, well, that's a sin. Next morning, when all was still, I took him up to Badger's Hill. I lost the only little friend I had that day. Not a word I said, I just opened up my hands and kissed his little head and watched him fly away. He circled round and round and then he settled on the ground. Then off he went right off into the sky. And then I looked and I could see he was flying back at me. And then he swooped and then he pooped right in my eye. I thought, that's gratitude and it's bleeding rude. Well, I hope they never cross a pigeon with a cow. And then Dad said, there's a caper, I'll run home and get some paper. I said, don't be daft, he's miles away by now. Dad said, I know you lost a friend, but just really not yet. You see, you'll be married and have children of your own quite soon. Well, I never said a word, but all through that little bird, I lured 18 little ravers up into my room, so what's the matter?
Good afternoon.
afternoon. The Spoonerism. The Reverend William Archibald Spooner was born on July the 22nd, 1844. He it was who committed such inadvertent verbal transpositions as, yes indeed, the Lord is a shoving leopard, and the immortal loyal toast to the queer old Dean. A new play opening this week deals with the home life of the spoon who invented the mannerism. The man who invented the spoonerism. Here is the opening scene from the play.
Oh, there you are, William. Beautiful day.
Quite so. The shine is sunning, the churns are purpling, lovers are killing and booing. It makes one glad to be alive.
Well, I'm very pleased to see you're in such a good mood. Because look what the laundry has done to your best shirt.
Good heavens, they've freed the slaves.
Frayed the sleeves, dear.
I did that, didn't I?
They've also torn the collar and smashed all the buttons.
Quite so. It never pains but it roars. Buttons, collar and cuffs all at one swell swoop. Well, I'll fight the Nathan Newton's Hale. I'll go down and smith them to smashereens. I'm going to thump in a jacksie.
Oh, just a minute, William. Don't you think that such a scene is unseemly in a man of your calling?
You are quite right, my dear. After all, I am a clan of the moth. Better to sleep, let sleeping logs die, to hew his ermine.
That's better. Now, do you feel like some breakfast?
Oh, indeed I do. A suggestion to warm the heartles of my cock. I rather fancy some hot-toasted bast, a rasher of steaky bacon, and some of that cereal that goes Pabst Knuckle and Crap.
Very well, William, and while you're eating that, I shall be packing my trunk.
Tracking your punk?
That's right. You see, I'm leaving you, William.
Leaving me? After 20 years of bedded whist? This must be some rather pathetic poke. You can't mean suddenly to destroy my entire lay of life.
I'm quite serious, William. I'm leaving and I'm not coming back.
But my dear, consider the words of the highly noble. What God hath joined together, let no son put asunder. Let no pants put asunder. And dear me, I'm getting my tag all tangled.
Exactly, that's why I'm leaving you.
What do you mean?
Well, it's quite simple, William. I just can't spoon any more standardisms.
But my dear,